You're listening to the Trading Bear Podcast. This is episode 14, The Daily Show.
Mystery player. Position.
Forward.
Start price.
£8.88.
Current price.
£6.96.
PB.
30p.
MB.
£1.59.
Dividend yield.
27.2%.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining in. In the news today, Jack Grealish has an eventful day in Birmingham as he goes on to score the match winner after getting punched in the back of the head. Ole Gunnar suffers his first league defeat as United go down 2-0 away to Arsenal in a performance that can only be described as very much as after the Lord's Mayor's show. And ex-England and Spurs legend Teddy Sheringham warns Tottenham they will lose Kane if they don't start winning trophies soon. So only one place to start with today's risers, and that's with the events that happened at St Andrews in Birmingham earlier today. The match itself finished 1-0, courtesy of a goal from Jack Grealish. Although sadly, this is not the reason why he has shot up in price today. Grealish has gone up 59p then to £3.93 today. And it was largely due to an incident with a fan, I say fan in the loosest terms, running onto the pitch and punching Grealish in the back of the head. Grealish himself was fine and the stewards were quick to grab the intruder and escort him off the pitch. But within seconds of the event happening, traders grew wise to this, purchased some shares, and his price went up 30 to 40p almost instantly. Likewise, the newspapers and journalists have been quick to get on the story, and this has generated a mammoth amount of points for Grealish. He's already on 3,500 MB points, and to put that in perspective, the current record for MB is 4,400 from Mo Salah after he took it for winning the best goal in an award ceremony earlier this season. Now, Grealish can certainly be put into that pot of players that attracts the media attention, the likes of Balotelli and Pogba being prime examples. But a 50p rise just seems too much for the sake of a 5p dividend, possibly 10p if the story spills through into tomorrow's papers as well. The price definitely won't be supported in the short to medium term, and I can see him going down another about 20 to 30p come Monday night or Tuesday morning. Today's second riser comes from a player that probably feels like he's been punched in the back of his head by his own supporters, no least, and that's Philippe Coutinho. Booed at the weekend after struggling to perform yet again, he's risen 30p late last night, earlier this morning, to a current price of £4.56. Now, a substantial rise then for Coutinho, and the reason, he's been linked with a move to Manchester United. Now, for FI purposes, it doesn't get any better. The biggest club on the platform in terms of generating MB, and under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he would now also join an exciting attacking team. Now, despite his superb form for Liverpool, it's not a huge surprise that he hasn't actually clicked at Barcelona. Tim Vickery, on his recent podcast Up All Night on the BBC show, spoke in depth at how Coutinho often struggles with his first season at a new club, mentioning his time at Inter Milan, Espanyol, and also Liverpool initially before he became a superstar there at Anfield. So a lot would depend upon Barcelona's patience with him. Should he be given another chance in the summer, he could well click into a player they wanted to see and they wanted to buy when they bought him for 140 million next season. That, of course, is not going to stop the rumours, though, and I think at £4.60, £4.50, I think this is a no-brainer. It's going to be a story that rumbles on all summer, and as traders now switch from PB players to those summer transfer link players, I think he's a good buy for me. Let's have a look at today's two fallers then, and the first one is a PB player, is a performance bonus player, and that's Marcelo Brozovic, the Inter Milan defensive midfielder. He's fallen down 21p today and now sits at £3.09. This was due to him coming off injured in the 42nd minute during their 2-0 victory over SPAL in Serie A earlier today, and he limped off with a muscular leg injury. It doesn't sound great, and it looks to see him sit out for about 3 to 4 weeks. If this initial diagnosis is indeed true, it would see him miss the Europa League second leg match against Frankfurt, which is currently 0-0, and it would also see him miss the huge Milan derby against AC. With the season starting to draw to a close, Brozovic, not the youngest player, and highly unlikely to generate any transfer links, this seems like a logical fall. And indeed, I myself have actually sold my shares in him today. At the time of buying a few months ago, he seemed a great fit. He had a high baseline, Inter had some great fixtures, and they were in Europa League. Sadly, Inter haven't lived up to those fixtures. They've been severely off form. They are still in Europa League, but as Brozovic is now injured, the reasons for the trade have now finished. Staying in the position of defensive midfielder, and we come to our second faller today, and it's Manchester United youngster James Garner. He's fallen 20p today and now at £2.68. So what is the cause for his fall today? Well, on the back of other Manchester United youngsters like Chong, Greenwood and Angel Gomez, James Garner was the latest player to be IPO'd, or initial purchase offering. As with most IPOs, the craze to buy them often outweighs the merit of the actual purchase itself. This is no truer than in James Garner's case, with people looking to get on early, flip the trade and get out early as well. As always, this works well for 10% of traders and the other 90% are found wanting. IS or insta-selling is not available to a player that's just been IPO'd, and as a result, a lot of traders were left holding a player they didn't actually want. IS has now been turned back on for James Garner, and hence we see a drop of 20p today. Which leads us nicely on to today's first question, and it comes from Sam in Canterbury. Now, whether that's the English Canterbury or the New Zealand Canterbury, I don't know. Sam, maybe if you can get in contact with the show and confirm that. But anyway, he asks, is it worth investing in every new player that joins the index? It seems every new player who IPOs goes up in value. Now, certainly that can definitely seem the case, Sam, if you see a player that you've missed out on an IPO and they've just rocketed in price almost straight away, or you look at the current trend list and you see players that have IPO'd that day and have shot up in value 30, 40, 50%. Now, as I've mentioned on previous shows, that highest trend list is extremely unreliable and I recommend you never look at that. It's well worth actually just tracking 4 or 5 recent IPOs and then looking at a price a few weeks later. I've just had a look at one recent example, and that is John Fleck, who plays for Sheffield United, so a club very much in the mix to get promoted from the Championship to the EPL, and he IPO'd at a price of 80p, so very cheap at a club looking to get promoted. You'd think his value would be around about £1.5, £1.10 by now. His current price is actually 67p, so just a few days after being IPO'd, his price is actually lower, and indeed by around 15 to 20%. So certainly when you see the headliners that get IPO'd, the likes of Philippe, for example, at Benfica, it does seem that every new player that joins goes up in value. But be wary of this. I would estimate more than 50% of IPOs either flat out in value or go down in value. So by this definition, no, it's not worth investing in every single player that gets IPO'd. Today's second question comes from Stu in Aberdeen, and he asks, does a player's nationality affect their value? E.g., do you think English players are inflated? Yes is the short answer, Stu, and there's a very good reason for this as well. Put basically, if a player is English, then they can be called up to the England squad and one day replace Jeff Hurst as the country's hero once more. Now, as silly as that statement may sound, it's exactly what the tabloid media are after, and you only have to look at Jadon Sancho for a prime example of this. There's a current crop of very talented young Englishmen who have yet to actually win anything or win any PB dividends. So you're looking at your Callum Hudson-Odois, your Jadon Sanchos, your Mason Greenwoods. But because they're seen as the future Messis and Ronaldos, papers are documenting everything they do, and hence they get MB, and hence traders are interested in them. On the flip side of this, are young players getting game time, but aren't English, so aren't generating the same sort of prices. So these players, you're looking at someone like Iwobi, who plays for Nigeria, Leon Bailey at Bayer Leverkusen, who plays for Jamaica, and the recent Manchester City youth product player Rabi Matundo, who now plays in Germany for Schalke. So in summary then, Stu, does a player's nationality affect their value? Yes, it most certainly does. And that's it for this episode. You can download and subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify and Podbean. Head over to the website to send in a question, tradingbearpodcast.com. Alternatively, you can find me on IndexGain or Twitter under the name Trading Bear. Thanks for listening and stay tuned for the Mystery Player.
Mystery player. Position.
Forward.
Start price.
£8.88.
Current price.
£6.96.
PB.
30p.
MB.
£1.59.
Dividend yield.
27.2%.
Trading Bear. Today's mystery player was Cristiano Ronaldo.